What's going on, guys? Josh here with For Love of Games. And lately I've been getting a lot of questions from my friends and other people that I know asking me how I create my videos for my YouTube and my LBRY channels. So I figured, why not? Let's make a video on that, highlighting the 5 pieces of software that I use that are completely free and open source that make my videos possible. And I want to share this with you guys so that way you can go out there and make your own YouTube channel, your own LBRY channel, or just make videos for fun. So without further ado, let's pull up a chair, let's sit back and relax, and let me show you how you can make videos for free. Let's go. Alright, and here we are on the desktop once again, and the first piece of software that we're going to talk about is going to be Open Broadcaster Studio, or OBS Studio. Now, this piece of software is a very powerful tool that can be used for many different applications. It can be used for just about any kind of video creation, content creation that you want to do. I use it for my gaming stuff because it's easy to use, it's intuitive, and quite frankly, it gives me a really good quality video. And it's also available for Mac, Windows, and Linux. And when I started this gaming channel, when I started this channel, For Love of Games, I started it on Linux. I didn't use Windows. I only switched to Windows because other stuff that I have, all the hardware that I have was not compatible with Linux, unfortunately. Or this would be a Linux gaming channel pretty much. But other than that, OBS Studio, it works on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. It is completely free and open source. And here's what OBS Studio looks like when it's opened up. And I'm going to apologize to you guys right now for this cascading tiling effect, this inception effect. I do apologize for that, but this is a byproduct of recording my desktop while I'm trying to make this video. So on the bottom here, as you can see, is a lot of stuff going on here, and it looks very intimidating for somebody who is just starting out. But after you use it for a little while, it's actually not that bad. It's actually quite intuitive and easy to use. I have multiple scenes on the left-hand side, which you can configure in any way. And you also have your sources tab in the middle here, which you can have whatever you want, basically. Like I have my camera here, I have my microphones here, I have a this Kdenlive thing here is for my phone. When I stream my phone or record my phone to my desktop, I can actually use OBS to record my phone footage, which is powerful all in itself. I have my Windows capture, which is not in use right now, but it's what I use to get my game stuff going, and my display capture, which I'm using right now, and it allows me to capture my Windows machine, my desktop here, and show you guys exactly what is going on and how to create this kind of stuff. Warning though, I'm going to warn you guys about using OBS here. If you go into your settings tab and you go into output and you're recording this stuff, you're going to want to have a large hard drive, especially with the settings that I have. I have recorded some files that are max quality, high profile, lossless video, and using H.264 compression, excuse me, and get that out. And I'm using my NVENC encoder from my GTX 1080. It puts a pretty large file out there. Like my last video, the Half-Life Alex video, just that section was over 120 gigs of just footage that I had to use and chop down and everything else. But that was about an hour long playthrough, about 40-minute playthrough, and it's just a huge file. So be mindful of that. If you have a smaller hard drive, or you want to start making this kind of stuff, you're going to want to invest in a larger hard drive. Or you can adjust these settings down to the way that you see fit in order to adapt to your needs. The next piece of software that we're going to be talking about is MKV toolnix. Now I use this piece of software in order to extract audio or demux my audio from my video that I recorded with OBS. So this is a very powerful tool as well, and again, it is free and open source. I cannot stress that enough. This entire channel was made and started with free and open source software. So using MKV toolnix is really simple. I'll give you guys a demonstration of that. So I already have it downloaded and installed, obviously, because I use this. So I'm going to open it up, and here's the interface. Really simple, really easy. Now I'm going to go ahead, and the section that I previously just recorded about OBS, I'm going to do that in real. I'm going to demux that in real time for you. So let me open up my files, and I break everything down by sections. And this is another good practice that you guys want to get into. A little tip here. Break everything down that you do into sections. Record it in chapters. That way it makes it easier for you to break down and chop down in your editing software later on. At least it works for me. That's just how I work. So I'm going to take this OBS part1.mkv file, and I'm going to bring it into MKV toolnix. drag and drop. That's all you got to do. So what we need to get is our audio file from track 3, or our audio extracted, demuxed from track 3. So that's my microphone. This is track 3 of my microphone. So I'm going to uncheck MPEG 4P, that's my video file. I'm going to uncheck the first one and the second one, and this is going to allow, this is track 3 right here, this is going to allow MKV toolnix to extract the audio, my voice, from this file, so that way I can use it in my editing software later on. So after I finish demuxing here, you can see we have two different file types. We have an MKV and an MKA. Now the MKA is for the audio and the MKV is for the video. And it's going to be important to understand which is which once we start editing footage, so that way you know exactly what you're dragging and dropping into our editing software, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. The next piece of software that we're going to take a look at here today is Audacity. Now Audacity is a free and open source audio recorder that allows you to record your voice and do overdubbing or voiceover work, and it also allows you to do music creation as well. It's a very powerful piece of software, and it's also again available for Windows, Mac, and Linux as well. Once you open up Audacity, you can see that it's pretty blank and it looks pretty plain looking, like there's not a lot going on with it. I can see my inputs here, I can see, I'm recording a 2-channel stereo, and I can also see that I'm outputting to my speakers, my computer speakers here, so I can hear the playback of it, once I'm done recording something, which is all well and good, but where's all the good stuff? So I'm going to show you that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit record on this piece of software, and I'm going to record my voice for this section, so I can kind of demonstrate to you guys what this can actually do, and as far as doctoring up my voice and making it sound a little bit better. And I'm going to overlay it into this section of the video so that we can hear the difference between going through OBS and then going through Audacity, doctoring it up a little bit, and then hearing the difference there. This software is actually really powerful, and I actually love using it. Next up on the list is Kdenlive. Now Kdenlive is a fully fledged free and open source video editing software that allows you to do whatever you want to do to your audio and your video before you render it out and load it up to YouTube, LBRY, or even your own website if you so choose. Now they do have a Linux version as well as a Windows version, and they also claim to have a Mac OS X version, but unfortunately they do say that they are outdated clearly on the download page. So I cannot recommend that you use the Mac version of it. Instead, I would actually recommend you use something like iMovie if you want a free Mac alternative for a video editing software. So let's go ahead and open up Kdenlive so that way we can poke around a little bit and you guys can kind of get a feel for how it looks and how things are done in Kdenlive to see if you even want to use this piece of software or not. So once you open it up, as you can see, it looks like a blank slate. I mean, that's all it is, but it also looks very daunting and very, how can I say it? Complicated, but honestly it really isn't complicated. It's actually relatively easy to use. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag over some files here so we can see how Kdenlive actually works. I'm going to take the two files that I prepared earlier, the MKA and the MKV files. I'm just going to take them and drag them right on over, and I'm going to put them right into the project bin. Now on the left hand side here you have your project bin, and then in the middle here you have your OBS effects, and on the right middle here, I guess you'd call it, is all the effects that you can do to the image and the audio as well. So I can take my video files, drag them down to the timeline here, and let's say I wanted to do some sort of color correction here. I can take a 3-point balance, I can click and drag that onto my video, click on the section of the video that I want here, and I can 3-point balance this stuff. I can do a contrast balance to it. I can adjust the contrast of the video if I wanted to. I can, adjust the gamma. I can go and I can adjust the audio. Say if my audio is too loud, if I'm talking too loud in this microphone, or if I don't have it set right in OBS or in Audacity, if I have something a little off and my volume is too loud, I can take this, drag it down to my audio, and I can adjust the gain levels here. So if I'm too loud, I can just simply put my scroll wheel down or just play around with it a little bit. I can manually set the audio settings, so if I wanted it at 70%, I'll just take it and put it at 70%. If I wanted to, chroma key something like what I have back here, I have a chroma key for this green screen so that you guys can see me on my desktop while I'm doing these kind of videos. You can do all that in Kdenlive. It is very, very powerful. And this is one piece of software that I do recommend that you guys get familiar with and start using if you want to create your own videos and your own YouTube channel or library channel if you wanted to. And the last piece of software that we're going to talk about today is GIMP. Now, GIMP is GNU Image Manipulator Program, and what this allows you to do is basically Photoshop, but a free and open source version of Photoshop. So you don't have to pay the Adobe tax or any of those other software companies for this kind of software. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to create thumbnails and create little images and text and stuff like that for your videos if you wanted to do that. So let's open up GIMP and I'll show you guys around that one too. Once GIMP is loaded up, again, it's just a blank slate. It's for creators. So we're gonna go take a file here. I'm gonna go find a picture and I'm gonna bring it in here and we're gonna doctor it up and make a thumbnail for this video. Alright, so now that I have all the images that I want to use for this thumbnail, all I gotta do is just simply click them and drag them into the GIMP canvas here, and we can start editing and chopping up this video a little bit. So in the upper left hand corner is where all our tools are located. So there's a few things that I want to do here to actually improve this image. And the first thing I want to do is I want to crop the image down a little bit. So I'm going to get the crop tool out. I'm going to just chop out the taskbar and the upper part of the window, and voila, it's gone. Now that I have my logos all plastered where I kind of want them, and you can see it's starting to come together now, a little bit at a time, but it's still starting to come together. Now all I gotta really do is add my text. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new layer here just for now. Add new layer. I'm going to add 2 text layers here. So one's going to be there, and that's going to be make videos, layer 1, right? Now I'm going to click off that. I'm going to make another one here. So now what I can do is I can move these layers around a little bit here, and I can make these text boxes bigger so that way I can fit the entire text where I want it to. I'll tighten the spacing up a little bit so that way I can fit everything where I want it. All right, and I'm also going to take this text, I'm going to change this to a white text, and you'll see why in a second. I'm also going to take this other text and move it around. Move this stuff like this, move this here. So I can just kind of manipulate the text and stuff that I want where I want it. And I can do the same thing here. I can take this text box and I can, keep it red, but I can just tighten up the spacing of it a little bit so that way it looks a little bit cleaner. And this is pretty much going to be the final thumbnail that I'm going to use for this video. I add a couple more things here and there, but as you can see, this software is pretty powerful and it's pretty intuitive to use, and you can bring out your guidelines, you can bring out your different transparency layers and everything else, and you can really dig deep and dig down into this software and make it work to your advantage and actually come up with some really good and creative stuff. So I mean, this is another free alternative, free and open source alternative to Adobe Photoshop that, quite frankly, has just about all the features that you're going to need from Photoshop in it. So why pay for it if you can get it for free? Now, these are just some pieces of software that are out there that can help you start creating videos right away. And they have the best price tag, in my opinion, of free. If you guys are interested in any of the software that I mentioned in this video, all the links will be down in the description below, so be sure to go check that out. And if you guys like this video, please be sure to hit that like button and let me know what other kind of content you want to see down in the comment section below. If you want to see more videos like this, more of the how-to style videos, click on one of the videos on the screen right now. And please consider subscribing and turning on notifications so that way you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And as always, guys, I'm Josh with Full Love of Games, signing out. Have a great day.